Good afternoon to everyone that cares about the environment. To everyone that doesn't, afternoon. Um, my name is Hansel Carter. I'm 19. I'm a third year filmmaking major in Champlain College in Burlington, Vermont. And I'd like to start off by telling you a little bit about my background. All of the green dots are where I've lived. I was born in New York, Queens, New York, and I lived there until I was about 7. Then I moved to Virginia, and there, 4th and 5th grade, my mom got a job with the government, so we moved to India. That was her first station in New Delhi, and I was there for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, so all of middle school. And then I moved to Florida for a year and a half. That was 9th grade and the first semester of 10th grade. And then I moved to Cairo, Egypt. Okay, I'm tired already. That was the second semester of 10th grade until my senior year, where I graduated in front of the pyramids, and that's the only thing I will let myself brag about. Um, so then after that, I went to Champlain College in Vermont, out of all places, and it's so cold there. But I'm really glad I'm here because I've been warmed by the hearts of everyone in here. Um, so having gone to international schools and having the experiences that I've had in my life, I always keep up to date on current events and stuff, which everyone should, but like I used to like not, but like now you like should, because chances are that somewhere, somehow, someone you know will be affected by what you're seeing in the news. So while I'm doing that, I came across this piece. Glad I went right after Sophia. This article that says climate change has doomed us. Now, what on earth should we do about it? And in it, they're talking about how we have 20 years to change our ways. And I keep looking through articles. The number just keeps going down. 15 years, 12, and then we heard Barry Hills the other night say we had 10. So we're just bombarded with all of these articles, and there's so much negativity and pessimism that it's overwhelming. And so I just chose to ignore it, me before Project Green. And in psychology, this is called the ostrich effect because ostriches just bury their head in the sand. That's actually not true. That was just a rumor someone started, but now in psychology, it's called the ostrich effect. So I was the ostrich. And they do that to avoid dangerous situations. And that is clearly a dangerous situation. So with the constant influx of that, it's so easy to think that there's nothing we can do to elicit any change. And like, the world is doomed. There isn't just one issue. There's hundreds upon thousands that are affecting millions of individuals every single day. So it's basically being psychologically ingrained in us that there's no hope whatsoever for a sustainable future. So what's the point in even trying to change? Why should I spend time trying to tackle something so big and large? These are some of the questions I was asking myself before Project Green. Now, before I started, you have to know that I had absolutely zero interest in activist work. I thought they were just good speakers who owned megaphones and went outside with them. I'm not good at speaking, and I do not have a megaphone, so that was not my scene. Um, so when I started Project Green, I just thought, these are going to be super 5 to 10 minute easy tasks. That's where you laugh because they definitely weren't. Um, so I started doing like green level challenges, and then I saw my teammate Maggie Woodman. She did her zero waste challenge, and I saw her reflection. I saw her submission. And I was like, oh, that seemed actually pretty cool. Like I'd really like to know more about that. Oh God, yeah. Here we go. That's what she did. Um, so I wanted to get more hands-on and get more involved in what she was doing and what Project Green had to offer. So I started with day 5 energies challenge about writing an article about about the energy consumption my college does. And I was so interested in that because I'm an eco rep and I had all the resources and the skills and I love writing. So I got that done. It was just published in our first edition of the Crossover, which is our newsletter. Thanks. And another reason I like really wanted to do this, because I also really love competition, like Amazing Race, Survivor, that's all my stuff. So from that challenge, I went on to do more. I did more greeners and greenists and extra credits, and like for some unknown reason, I wanted to just keep taking on these super lengthy tasks. And while I'm so excited to get my hands on these challenges, and like find out like what that stack of rocks is going to mean tomorrow and what those water droplets, like what theme is that going to be. Um, I was asking myself, why am I doing this to myself? Why on top of my resident assistant position looking over 80 residents? Why on top of my EcoRep area coordinator position with a specialization in on-campus engagement? Why on top of my vice president of communications of my event planning club? Why on top of my co-presidency in the international community club? Why on top of my film work? And why on top of my regular classwork? Like, I did not have a social life in October. And throughout Project Green, the answer became more clear. It's because I started becoming passionate about the work that I was doing. There was this satisfaction of sharing what you created or encountered with others, or knowing that you've reached someone and that you've changed them for the better of themselves and also the environment. And that was just an unimaginable feeling. So how did I get here? I thought I needed good public speaking skills and a megaphone. And the simple answer was I used my voice in so many ways. I didn't realize it then, but those posters I created for soil, I created these giant 5 posters. That took all day. The news article I wrote for energy, the reflections I wrote for econ, and the economics of coffee and mindfulness, those were my megaphone. And my voice was amplified through the globe. And using my voice was so important for my community. And Project Green started becoming an integral part of my existence. In the final week of Project Green, my teammate Zoe, she came up to me and Maggie, and she was like, guys, what are we gonna do when Project Green is over? And we were kind of just like silent because like that was not something that was on our radar. Like not doing Project Green. Um, we had bonded and learned so much and grew and just became better people over the month of October that like this was not something we thought about. So at this moment, we had this fundamental feeling that we three shared, that we wanted to continue this newfound passion of ours, this eagerness to learn and engage with our world. So how do we do that? Well, the answer is simple. To engage, you just use your voice. You speak up in whatever way you know how. I love film and art and literature. That's Project Green. And so I will use those skills. I will use the skills that I have, the resources I have available to me to showcase my concerns and my opinions and my stance on issues, and not just environmental ones, because everything is connected. Um, I was no longer concerned with how to reach my audience. I'd created these imaginary limits to that restricted me from my actual potential reach. Um, for example, I didn't like, that's my dining hall. It's a pretty sad dining hall, but like the view is nice. It didn't have to be just my residence hall or the town of Burlington. It could be across the globe. And the truth is that I was scared before Project Green for the future, for the policies and regulations that our world has in place that are affecting people negatively around the world, for the biodiversity that our planet thrives on that's depleting species every day. And the lack of education and awareness of this interdisciplinary concept, I got that word right for the first time today, of interconnectedness, because without people seeing that connection, without knowing that everything is connected, that everything we do is connected, and that everything comes back to the soil, there is no hope. And I was wrong before then, because I shouldn't have seen that there was no hope. I should have seen that this was an opportunity for me to stand up and to speak up. And it's so important. This is where I'm gonna try not to cry, okay? It's just so important to remember that there's so much good in our earth. Uh, People like you, people like us in this room, people from all ages and backgrounds and histories with amazing stories who care about the environment. And this project brought us all together, not even as finalists, but as people, as engaged students, along with 6,000 other students, 700 schools, 56 countries, 49 states, except North Dakota. And to And to think for that 1 month, for all those moments that we turned in submissions, for all those moments we watched those TED Talks and created those articles and created amazingly detailed infographics. Like, I looked at all your guys' stuff. It's amazing. Art pieces and passionate presentations. We were all connected and we were all on the same page, and we all want a sustainable world. So I'll leave you with this. Look at those headlines and don't ignore them. Don't bury your head in the sand like I did. Don't keep scrolling until you find a meme you can laugh at and forget about what you just read. Sit there and acknowledge that you can't do everything, but you can start by doing something. Start a conversation and take action with your passion, with your personalized skill sets. Ask yourself, how do we change that? and what can I do as an individual, and what can we do as a community, and what can we do as a human race? And this isn't some existential question whose answer you need to ponder for a few days, because the answer is right here. It's in your heart. Humans, since the dawn of time, have lived off of instinct, of desire, what makes them satisfied, what gives them purpose, and in your heart, you instinctively know what to do. And by using your voice and your passion, we can prove that there is hope. And quite frankly, we've already proven that right here in this room, that change isn't something we have to wait for, because change is already here. And I hope by me using my voice today, I've reached someone somewhere and let them know that this is a chance for us to work together and create a sustainable future. So let's change the world, and not for yourself or for your community, if not for yourself or your community, do it for me. So I can stop waking up to articles like this, so I can start waking up to articles like this high school senior homecoming queen who won a football game right after winning, and this really, like, these candidates who were on opposite sides, but they came together to play music, and most importantly, this 106-year-old woman who celebrated her birthday at a Taco Bell. So thank you all. Thank you, Turning Green. Thank you, finalists.